everyone. I wanted to touch base about the 30-minute prep time, the requirement that the governor put out in his recent executive order and plan that we're working on, put together to try and meet those needs. I want to start off by recognizing that the plan I'm going to propose here that we're talking about, I know it's not perfect. I know it doesn't meet everyone's needs, and there's so many different pieces to it, and I acknowledge as I start talking about this a little bit that teachers have a lot on your plate. I know you got a lot going on. You have a lot of needs for this prep time. I know that it's something that certainly is going to be well used and certainly something that everyone needs. I also realize that our schedules they're hard right now, and we move from one learning model to another. That makes it really hard for families to know what to expect and for teachers to know kind of what's coming next. And we want to try and keep as much consistency in that as we can as we look to add this extra time that the governor has asked us to add. So we're doing the best we can with the data we've got, trying to put this together and recognize the needs the teachers have and still meet the needs that the families have with us as well. What I've got, and it's in the email that this video is attached to, the list of the dates that we're looking at adding some full prep days. One day, looking at really a day a month, trying to line that day up each month to be in alignment with something else going on that month, like end of the quarter, or if there's a holiday break or something like that coming up, to try and be less disruptive to those schedules. The other piece I want to recognize in this, so that we've talked about with this, is knowing how much that regular time is important for teachers too. We had earlier this year talked about PLC days and recognized that of the 4 each month, 2 of them were going to become individual work time or prep time pieces, and certainly the MDE guidance acknowledges that type of arrangement that a lot of districts had in place and how that does meet the needs of this requirement, of this expectation, of this requirement from the state too. So those 2 PLC times, that's part of the plan for this, is that everyone gets those 2 hours, an hour every other month to put towards that, and then the bulk of time, this additional time, a day each month besides, that's going to be complete work day. So some of the days that are proposed on this list, they're days that might have been a half day with students on the schedule, like November 25th is one of the days we're going to talk about coming up next week already. Right, that's scheduled to be a half day with students and a half day of PD time. We're going to make that a full day of just prep time, just work time. We're not going to schedule anything. We're not going to bring students in on those days. That's all the days listed. They're going to be full days of just work time. The November date, certainly talked about. December, we have the day just before winter break. We can add that, where we can say we won't bring students in that day, and that's a full day prep time for teachers. January 22nd is the end of the quarter. On the calendar, January 26th is also listed as, it's a Monday. That's a comp day for the elementary teachers for some of those extra conference days that they have. That's separate from this. January 22nd is the Friday before. That'll be a full day of prep or work time for everybody. February 12th is scheduled as a half day with students, kind of like the November date. On that date, the plan will be not bring students in that day either. Right now, we have Gary Brooks scheduled for the afternoon that day. I think that's an event that we would really like to be able to maintain that and keep that event. So that's why I'm putting November 25th on here. This mandate for the 30 minutes really takes effect November 30th. I'd like to add the November 25th and swap that time with that February time, so you get an extra half day in there. So we can still do Gary Brooks in the afternoon. I think that'd be an uplifting piece that we probably need this year as much as any time. March 26th is end of a quarter again. And then in April, I know it's right shortly after that March day, but we have a day that's scheduled to be a full PD day. It'll become a full work day, full prep day without anything else scheduled on that time. I also want to recognize that PLCs, when we said those 2 we're going to give people for individual work time each month, I also know there's a lot of value in that time with your PLCs, with your learning communities, time to sit down with those other teachers and have time to process things there. That's really valuable time. A lot of really valuable work happening in those meetings right now, and we don't want to take those away completely. We know that you need to have time to do that too. So we're leaving 2 of those times each month still to be PLC times. The last thing I just want to mention too, as part of this conversation, has been questions about, well, what happened to professional development? Because then all these times we had set aside for professional development time, they become work days in this schedule, this plan. Yeah, they do. And I know there is still a need for professional development. We know it's really important too as we grow ourselves. And for relicensure, we have people that need to renew their licenses this year, and those pieces are important and required for that too. So we're working with Beth, and we'll have some virtual options for PD. I don't have that plan ready to roll out yet. I don't have it all laid out, but there'll be some self-paced things that you can take on those different days. Certainly some of the things we already did this fall will meet some of the requirements, and we'll find some other virtual self-paced options to meet some of those needs too. Like I say, trying to meet those needs for everyone, and certainly recognize this isn't a perfect plan, but I really do feel it meets the needs that we have out there. Thank you again, everyone, for all the work that you're doing. Um, I can't say how much I value that, and how much I really do understand how much is on everyone's plate right now. I think this extra time will be really good for the district, some extra time to get some of these pieces done. So thank you again for everything that you're doing. Stay safe, and I will talk to you again soon.